What's good, everybody? It's your boy Untold Insight. Today we're going to share and talk a little bit about Kava. I see a lot of people on YouTube talking all this stuff about how Kava gets them high, makes them feel crunk, and all this stuff. Crunk and high are two different things, okay? I want people to understand that. When somebody says crunk, it means you could actually feel a certain way because you have this vibe feeling, because it's kind of like semi-drunk, but not really drunk. Kava does that to you, but it doesn't do the cons that alcohol does, which means it kind of doesn't leave you with that unstable mindset, like making wrong decisions and stuff. You still have that mental clarity when you're on Kava. It just actually affects you differently depending on the Kava you're using. That's the point of this topic. If you would like other information about Kava, there's another person I feel that's worthy enough to go check out, because he knows exactly what he talks about when it comes to Kava, and he pretty much is the man when it comes to Kava, and his name is the Kava Sour. He has a blog page. He also has a YouTube channel. Check out some of his reviews if you haven't, because he does informative Kava, and you could tell by the way he talks about his Kavas, the way he could taste certain things in the Kava. He knows what he's talking about. He's been also doing it for a long time, so he knows the ups, he knows the downs about Kava. But for those that don't know, I'm going to share just a little bit of intake, because I don't see people really talking about this. When you're searching for Kava, do know that there's three type of forms you should be looking for. Truly, there's more, but I'm going to tell you the basic ones. Okay, they're heady ones, which we'll get into in a little bit. They're balanced ones, and then there's heavy ones. Heavy can also mean body. Okay, so let's just get that out the way. So let's start with that one. When someone says, I have a heavy Kava, which means body Kava, that means when you take that Kava, it's more sedating. It's more of the effect of relieving pain, helping you sleep more. It's more for something you would take towards the nighttime. That's the type of Kava that's more for the body. That's what heavy means. Okay, so sometimes when people take Kava, they're like, oh, but I don't feel a lot, I just feel really relaxed. Maybe you're taking a body one and you just don't know it. These are the things what I talk about when people don't know what they're talking about. Secondly, let's talk about a heady. It's self-explanatory. That's something you feel pretty much in the upper region, which will mean in your face. That one, when you take it the onset, you could feel it automatically behind the eyes, start coming forward. You actually feel it directly in the middle between your eyes, where your third chakra will feel. You feel it real fuzzy, and pretty much most of the effects will be up in the head region. You will feel little bit relaxation in the body, but nowhere near like if you were taking a heavy type Kava. You understand what I'm saying? Then comes the third option, which would be the balance. That one would take like a mixture of heady and a mixture of heavy and blend them together, and you get the perfect dose. You know what I'm saying? Some people may not like that. Some people preferences. Like me, at first I was introduced a lot to the heady Kava, and I thought everything had to be felt like that. If it wasn't feeling it in my face, I wasn't really doing the Kava. Then I started to understand that, wait a minute, when I had got a sample of something that somebody gave me, I mean, like, yo, I didn't feel nothing, but I totally felt this whole new sensation on my body. And then I asked them questions, and they told me this was a body type, and that's how I got introduced to it. But I feel like a lot of people don't explain this. That's why when you hear them talking, they just say, oh man, I feel so relaxed, but they don't really know the effects they're feeling. Like, what are you feeling? What Kava did you take? And this is why I say a lot of them, you could just push them to the side, because they don't know exactly what they're talking about. That's why you got to know your sources, where you buy it from. And then also just being careful, like when you buy the things, make sure that your sources is actually reputable. You know what I'm saying? You don't want those instances that just a company's trying to cut and shorten corners. They might actually blend a little bit of the leaves that are toxin to your body and stuff like that into their Kava blends, which those were the little stories that you heard back in the day that Kava did some damage to the liver. Also, those Kavas did have some of the compounds. They were extracts if you go and you read some of those researches. So Kava really wasn't that bad. And pretty much all those people in those islands that take Kava on a daily basis, you don't really see them damaging and hurting themselves with their liver. We could play this scenario back and forth. I could tell you, I'll give you an example of something that happened to me. I had told my friend, because he does a lot of substances, right? And I told him, hey man, why don't you try Kava? And he's like, hey man, but I heard that did a lot of damage to the liver. And I was like, yeah, those were studies that happened due to other things, but don't you drink alcohol? And he's like, yeah man, what do you think alcohol does to your liver? And it's kind of like he paused for a second and he caught himself in the most stupid saying right there. Kind of like when you see a smoker be like, hey man, cigarettes are very bad for you, but I smoke weed. And I'm like, really? How do you smoke it? And they were like, oh, I hit it in my bong, or I roll it in a blunt. Do you know that when you light it, you're actually sparking the carcinogens that actually go inside of you, that are actually cancer-causing agents? So it's like you're still doing something that could be positive for you, but you're taking it in such a negative way that it still does damage to you. And this is what a lot of these fools don't understand, that I've been trying to say for a very long time. Understand, gather some knowledge, do some research, and understand these things. This is why I decided to take some time and explain these things about kava. Now also understand, there are different forms you can get kava. You could get kavas in capsules, you could get kava in instant kavas, which I truly enjoy the instant kavas, and I'll explain shortly. And then you could do it the traditional way, which is getting it, putting it into I guess you could say a cheesecloth or whatever type of thing. You could put it on an aloo ball. So many new ways now you can do the kava, but I prefer instant. Why? Because that one is very like micro, you could say micro fine. It's like super, like almost disintegrates. As soon as it touches the liquid, you shake it up and it just completely blends in with the actual beverage, and you could drink it also. It takes away the whole tradition way, which is, I know it's kind of fucked up in a way, because somebody say you're not taking kava in the traditional way. I just want to take it in the convenient way and still get the traditional way benefits. I mean, because we live in a very fast world, and you know, a lot of people are all about convenience, especially myself. I try to make things as easy as possible for people, the same way I would like things as easy as possible. So I deal a lot with instant kavas. A lot of people may fight me back and say they don't work. Like I said before, different. Kava has different things on people, and of course kava does have the reverse tolerance effect. So sometimes you have to build it up inside the system, and you'll need less to actually get the effects. Okay, and that's, once again, I don't see a lot of people talk about in their reviews when they talk about kava. They always talk about giving these and doing these massive amount of scoops to get these desirable effects. And then you would ask yourself, why do you need so much of it, you know, half the time to get that effect? When if you really did build it up in your body, you wouldn't need as much as what you need to get those desirable effects, unless you're seeking a different effect, which would pretty much mean that you're abusing the kava. So that's on you then. But I'm just giving my take on just overall just taking kava just for like moments. The most you'll see me take kava, and I'm gonna be honest with you, on like if I'm feeling frisky on a certain day, I'll probably do two servings, which for me, I take instant kava, which I'm going to be doing some other reviews about some of the products I use. So if I'm using instant kava, sometimes they'll tell you do 1 to 3 teaspoons. Some other instant kavas will be like just do 1 teaspoon to about 4 to 6 ounces of either of your beverage, because it's instant. You can mix it with whatever. I usually mix it in cashew milk. I feel that that's the best way to mask it, and also just a little bit of chocolate syrup inside. Shake it up in a shaker cup, and boom, you could barely taste it. And I just take mine as a shot, and then I chase it down with water and stuff like that, and then I enjoy the effects. Kava does onset, depends on different people. Some people could feel it within seconds of taking it. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 to 5 minutes to come in. Some people feel it at 20 minutes. Everybody's different, so understand that. I'm gonna have some other reviews coming, because I got my hands on a bunch of kavas that they sent me, a bunch of samples that I really was happy about, and I'm gonna share those informations with you guys and how they taste and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you how I prepared each and every one of them. They're all the same way, but I'll just share it with you just in case people find different videos, okay? Until next time, it's your boy Untold Insight. Hopefully this helps somebody out, guys. Hopefully you guys understand a little bit better about kava now and stuff like that. I will have a playlist where you could go check out all the things I'm going to be putting up there about kava, because like I said, I got a lot of samples I'm going to be reviewing and stuff like that. So you could also check out the playlist, and also check out the playlist for other cool things. We're gonna get back to all those other herbs, and as well, like I got a whole bunch of herbs I also want to share in videos I want to put out there. So stay tuned, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming. It's your boy Untold Insight. To the next one, everybody, be safe out there. Peace and love. Keep sharing the information, and we out.